Hi, everyone. Welcome to Home Tech. Jason, how's it going?
It's going great, Seth. I know you've been pretty busy over there. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm recording in Studio B now, and that's because Studio A is an empty room with no furniture, nothing on the wall. It sounds like an echo chamber in there. So I had to move from the what we called the study, or what was just a third bedroom, into the master bedroom. And I'm recording with the microphone sitting on a dresser, which is awesome. I mean, it's great acoustics in here. So
nice, yeah. So you are in a state of flux. How is the move going?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've got everything. We're just trying to clear all the stuff out and get it into a storage unit. But we're moving. We want a little bit different layout on our house, and just want to have maybe a little bit more space. But I'm finding that, it's kind of something that we get called into, probably once or twice a month, is to come check out a house that has some technology in it that somebody's buying or somebody's looking at purchasing. They want to know what's in there, what is it, and what they're doing. And I'm kind of on the other side of that. I'm selling a house, and I've got some control for lighting in it. I've got some small bits of automation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking to my real estate agent. He's like, "Well, just leave it. It'll be a selling feature of the house." And I never really thought about that. But what that means is, when I get the new house, I get to start over.
You get a clean slate.
Yeah,
that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, with our past few episodes, I don't know which way I'm going to go with things. I've been doing Control 4 for a long time, and I'll probably stick with that for the brain of the house, but. The Insteon conversation that we had with Richard Gunther a couple episodes back, that really got my wheels turning in my head. Like, what could I do with this? It's fairly low cost, and it seems to work well. So, why not? So
yeah. No, I think that Insteon would be a great fit. I think it'd be interesting for me and probably for the audience to kind of maybe work through a series of shows, a series of episodes where you can kind of talk us through the process. I mean, that's a very common thing, right? Like a lot of our clients that we work with are people in your situation. They're moving from one house to another, or they're moving into a house maybe that has existing technology, and we get called in all the time for that. So it would be interesting I think, for you to kind of document your experience from the flip side of that coin.
No, definitely. And I've got. There's some technology that I'd leave with the house, and like the lighting and the security system for sure. I don't need to bring any of that with me. I could redo that fairly easily on the new house. But I've got TVs too, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just leave this TV. I've got a 800-pound Panasonic 50-inch TV from 2005. It has one HDMI on it.
Yeah.
I don't really need to bring that with me. And I really don't want to take it off the wall because it was a pain to get up there. So
I got to tease this. I'm going to go out on a limb because I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to locate the video, but I'm going to tease this in hopes that I can. And I will send you a video of what my roommate and I did with our old super heavy TV. And I think you'll get a good laugh out of it. Let's just say it involved a third floor balcony.
Oh, nice. I was thinking like boat anchor. What could this be? This could be awesome. So yeah.
And by no means am I recommending that, by the way.
Oh no. I'm going to recycle it responsibly. So
yeah. This was years ago, so I can write it off to being young and dumb.
Young and naive, right? Exactly.
Made for a good video though.
Well, speaking of good video, I know that you're probably excited to see some video of a particular type showing up on your Apple TV now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw a story this week that Apple TV is finally getting the NFL Now app. And now I guess this is something that has been available on other platforms for some time now. Personally, I'm an Apple TV user at home, so I didn't realize that. And I saw Apple TV and NFL kind of in the same headline, and it caught my eye. It's exciting, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they're not doing live games. I think we're a ways away from that. And I think that
would be so cool, though, right?
Yeah, I think that, like I was saying to you before the show, like when they start doing live streams of games on boxes like the Apple TV, that's when we know that the game has changed. We're a long ways from that. to be clear, in my opinion. But still cool. I mean, I'm a huge NFL guy. Love the Denver Broncos. So anything that gets me more NFL content, I'm all for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, we probably have some international listeners that are like, "What's football?"
Yeah,
are you
the Denver Broncos don't play football.
Yeah, exactly. We're the Broncos.
Yeah, we should be more specific. American football.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I think in my head that's where things would go one day, right? That you'd have an NFL channel or a FIFA channel, and you just select that and you'd watch the game that's on right then and there. I mean, that'd be so cool. And like you said, we're probably a long ways away from it.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that NFL thing, that the pay package is like one of the most profitable content packages. I think DirecTV has it right now. It's kind of up.
Oh, it's huge for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I currently am a Time Warner customer, Time Warner cable at my house, and I'm actually going to switch over to DirecTV this year. And really, the main driving force behind that is that they have the NFL ticket and nobody else does. And in the past, I haven't really needed it because a bit of a tangent, but I run a Broncos fan group here in Los Angeles, and we go to the same establishment every week and watch the games. But I have a baby on the way, which I don't know if we've actually talked about on this show before, but I have my first a baby girl coming in November 11th, and we're super excited about that. But it will definitely mean fewer trips to the pub.
Oh wow, that's right around the corner, buddy.
I think it's coming up. It's coming up fast.
I think you're going to have a smart home with a baby faster than I'm going to have a new smart home. So,
yeah, no, we're getting off on a tangent here, but it's been interesting to look at the smart home through that sort of filter, and maybe that could make for some interesting episodes and discussions as well, like smart home technology for new parents. You know, there are things coming to market now that are catered to that segment. So I think that could make for some interesting conversation.
Definitely. I think it'll be a good thing that you're going to get the non-live games on the NFL ticket there, or the NFL app on the Apple TV, because I think you're going to need it in a couple months.
Yeah, definitely. And we're super excited about that. But you know, it looks cool, and it'll be a nice little thing to have. I did see when I was reading stories about this, one thing that just kind of made me laugh, particularly as a Denver Broncos fan, and NFL fans out there will know what I'm talking about. I was reading this story on Gazelle.com, and I looked at the picture at the top of it, and it was a player in a Denver Broncos jersey, but it was number 15, and that's Tim Tebow. Now, that's like 3-4 years old, that picture probably. And for a second, I was like, wait, am I reading a current story, or have I been like missing the fact that Apple TV got NFL Now like 3 years ago? But no, the story was from 2014, and clearly somebody who was in charge of the artwork for that story.
Not a Broncos fan.
Not a Broncos fan.
Yeah, I mean, that's a complete shock to your system, man.
And it's like it'd be one thing if it was just some player who used to play for the Broncos and now doesn't. But you know, this is Tim Tebow. I mean, that was like a cultural phenomenon, crazy ride that Bronco fans went on, and so it wasn't just like any old Broncos player, you know. Tim Tebow's kind of, but anyways, enough about the NFL. That'll be here soon enough, and we can talk more about it then. One other story that I wanted to just discuss with you is I saw that Revolve recently joined the All Scene Alliance.
Yeah, I think that's pretty big. I mean, Revolve is they just want to control everything. Mm-hmm. They've got a hub with what do they have? 7 radios in it or some crazy amount that, you know, I think only 3 of them are active, but they just keep turning things on as time goes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, but getting into AllJoyn, they'll be able to better talk over to other devices, I think a little bit easier than what they were trying to do before. Hopefully, I mean, because it definitely makes for a more compelling product on their end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, initiatives like AllJoyn from the All Scene Alliance, they make a lot of sense. That's really a natural kind of partnership there. I mean, they're All Scene and Revolve are essentially both trying to solve the same problem, interoperability. That's the big challenge right now to the smart home market. And Revolve is trying to solve it with a hub, with hardware, and the All Scene Alliance is trying to solve it with AllJoin, which is a protocol, basically, that different companies, different manufacturers can come together and adhere to this similar protocol so that they're more, speaking the same language in a manner of speaking.
Well, yeah, and that's you pretty much nailed it. On their website, if you go to alljoin.org, it's a common language for the Internet of Everything. So they're just trying to make a common protocol, like you said, between all the devices, and it's an open source project. So different members of that scene can get in there and they can contribute and make it better over time. So the theory goes, and I think it's been initially developed by Qualcomm, so pretty big player in the game of things, and they make kind of the silicone, the chips, and everything that kind of sit in the background. So that's a good thing. Good thing for Revolve, I think. And like I said, hopefully it'll help them integrate with more devices faster. Because I think, I can't remember how many devices I heard they were up to. I think it was in like a little over 50. But that's kind of slow compared to other ones. But that's
and they just recently announced a bunch of new ones, and they came out with their Android app. So clearly the team at Revolve has been busy.
Yeah, definitely.
And Cydia coming up, I'm sure they're working hard at that. And actually, we'll tease it just a little bit after Cydia. Essentially, immediately following Cydia, we're going to have Mike Susi on the show from Revolve. So we look forward to that conversation, and this will definitely be a topic that I'll be looking forward to discussing with him.
Definitely. So if you don't go to Cydia, which is our major show here in a couple weeks, you could go to Best Buy and buy their new home automation system called, I'm going to let you pronounce it because I can't.
Peak.
All right.
Peak. Not Peck. Peak.
Well, if you go to mypeak.com.
Spelled P-E-Q.
Yes. And they have the little long line over the E that denotes, I guess, if you've been in English class long enough, that the pronunciation is peak, in fact. So, yeah.
You'll get it, Seth.
Yeah, eventually one day. I keep calling it mypeck.com, which probably not what their marketing team is looking for.
A whole different meaning.
Don't go to mypeck.com. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. But it's a pretty cool device. It's another hub. We have another hub joining our
ring the new hub bell.
Mountain of hubs. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go get a bell, and we're going to have a. We're going to have.
We're going to have to. I think we're going to have to.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to cost $120, and there's an odd thing on this one. It looks like they want to charge $9.99 a month. Like $10 a month, essentially, to have it work, which is kind of strange, I think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it makes sense from their perspective. Like, everyone loves recurring revenue. I can't fault them for trying, but I don't know if people are going to be warm and fuzzy to that. There's a lot of competition. This is rapidly becoming a very crowded space with companies like Staples and Lowe's and SmartThings and Revolve, who we just talked about. None of these companies, to my knowledge, are charging any sort of monthly subscription fee. And if they are, it's sort of an optional like add-on. I've heard of companies doing that. I think actually Lowe's does that. Anyways, I got the impression from what I read about Peak that it was like a mandatory thing. Like, I don't think that it works unless you get that subscription, but details are a little bit sparse right now. It looks like a pretty new deal here. So I will say that I'm not 100% sure about that. It seems odd to me. So we could be wrong, but if indeed that is the case, I'm not sure that that's really going to go over well with the average consumer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what that $9.99 a month is going to get you as a consumer. Maybe that's just kind of their internet tie-in, and you can do a lot of more customization of the system. I think the Lowe's Iris is kind of set up very similar, where you have an initial investment in the equipment, and then you pay, I think it's, again, $10 a month. But they tie in with security, so they'll actually monitor your security for that much a month. Mm-hmm. And then you can also do all these cool automation things on the side. and it's just kind of like their value add. You could get the equipment
Right.
and do the basic stuff, but you get all this extra stuff if you go ahead and pay $10 a month. So maybe they're doing something like that. Strange name, and it doesn't have a contract associated with it like traditional security. So I think that's pretty good. If you're
Right.
like renting or whatever, and you need to go month to month on something, you just want a little bit of security in your house. Maybe the system would work for you too.
Yeah. And I will say that, I want to be clear about the fact that in no way do I think it's unreasonable for them to charge that. I mean, that's really for the support and running the servers and, the continual updates and everything that has to go into supporting a product like this. I don't think it's unreasonable at all to charge a monthly fee. I just think that it's the unfortunate, from the perspective of the manufacturer anyways, it's the unfortunate nature of home automation and smart home technology these days that consumers they don't want to pay recurring fees. They want a low priced hub that they buy once and that's it. That's just kind of the nature of the market. When you're going up against so much competition, it's going to be tough, I think, for them it's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It's in Best Buy, so it's a pretty major place to be, at least here in the States. And yeah, I mean, it looks like a neat product. I'm looking at some of the screenshots of the iPhone app. Kind of a funky design, but it's definitely unique, and it looks good. So it looks very simple and easy to use, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and the story that I read said that they're going kind of with the smart things approach with this product, in the sense that they'll be selling it with kind of branded sensors. So it's going to be sort of a branded ecosystem, is the impression I got. I'm really wondering how open it will be to integration with items outside of that ecosystem. I didn't really see anything discussing that.
So yeah, they've got a number of devices here. It looks like they have door window sensors, motion detectors, cameras, outlets, and thermostats. It makes sense to do that because people can just do a one-stop shop, and good luck to them. It looks like an interesting product, especially for some people who may be looking for some stuff in that budget range.
Yeah, definitely, and I'd love to learn more. So if anyone at Peak is listening, let us know. We'd love to have them on the show, and maybe we'll reach out, see if we can get someone to come on and discuss the product in a little bit more detail.
Yep, definitely. Well, we had a great interview in store for you today with Shaun Moore, the CEO of Chui, and it's a smart. It's hard to describe what kind of product it is, but it's just a smart doorbell that you install, and it actually does facial recognition when you ring the doorbell, and it can tell you who's at your doorbell by seeing the face of who's standing there. So really, really cool automation product in the works, and I think we had a really good conversation with him. It's really, really interesting product, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing him at CEDIA.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. I mean, it's definitely like you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like you want to call it a smart doorbell, but it's more than that. It's definitely more than that. And what they're going for is, they kind of want to be what they say is the gateway to the smart home. And they want to accomplish that through using facial recognition, And so by using facial recognition, they're basically going to allow your doorbell to act as a trigger point for a variety of different home automation scenes. So ultimately, they'd like to get into automating things like music and lighting, but the big thing right now is it can kind of act as an access control system, give you alerts based on kind of who's at your door, and it's a very cool concept. And it sounds like they're having a lot of fun with it. They're getting pretty close to launch here. They're going to be out at CEDIA, and we talked about that a little bit. And you and I are looking forward to swinging by and seeing what they have going on. So we'll jump into that interview. But before we do, I just had one quick housekeeping thing and wanted to send out a quick thank you to Michael Zarati. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Michael left us a great iTunes review. We really appreciate the kind words, And for anyone else who's listening, who's enjoying the podcast or taking something away from it, we would encourage you to swing over to iTunes, or we're also on Stitcher, and leave us a good review. It goes a long ways. Really appreciate that. And also stop by the website at HomeTech.fm and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely. Well, let's just go ahead and jump right into the interview. Thanks everybody for listening.
We are pleased to welcome to the show Shaun Moore, CEO of Chui. Shaun, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jason. How are you today?
Doing great. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Absolutely. I'm pretty excited for it, so thank you.
All right, great. Well, before we jump into kind of the nuts and bolts of the product here, why don't you take a moment to just give a brief introduction of yourself, maybe a little bit of your personal background, and then kind of the very high level view of what Chui is.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Chicago and had decided on SMU to go play football, college football, down in Dallas, Texas. And that's where in the business school I met my co-founder, Nazar, who's originally from Abu Dhabi. And he had actually flown over in 2006. So we had met roughly in 2007, ended up joining the same fraternity, being in the business school together and working on quite a few projects together. So from that point, we both graduated with degrees in finance. I went on to work for Merrill Lynch, and he went on to run for a member of parliament in Morocco. So, took two totally different routes there, but two different experiences. After about 8 months working for Merrill Lynch, which, by the way, it was a fantastic job. I had a lot of fun there. I decided to take a risk and book a one-way flight out to Casablanca, Morocco, which is where we essentially started Chui.
Very cool. So you guys kind of had a winding road to the start of your product. Can you tell us a little about what Chui is? I know that it's a smart doorbell, but it's a whole lot more than that, and I'll let you kind of explain that to our audience.
Absolutely. So, our first product is the world's most intelligent doorbell. And when we say that, what we're really meaning is that we're trying to make each and every one of our unique faces the keys into our smart worlds, whether that be, at home, at the workplace, or at the gym. We want, the user adoption to be as easy as walking up to something. So you don't have to carry a phone with you. You don't have to carry a fob with you. Nothing on your personal self other than your face to have access to this new connected environment that we've created with technology.
That's pretty cool. So I've seen the videos on your website and everything. You basically walk up to the door and ring the doorbell, and the doorbell actually recognizes you. You can tell who's at the door.
Absolutely. So we're proactively trying to make your house intelligent to the point where it will recognize you. So by using facial recognition, we're able to make that front door actionable and really the gateway into the connected home. So, if your mom's coming over, as she approaches the door, we can detect motion, detect her face, and then grant her access to the house via internet-connected lock or any preset actions like that, turning the lights on, playing her favorite song. So by using facial recognition, we can have all these actionable items occur after the recognitions occur.
And that's awesome. I mean, that's a really good endpoint for automation. Like you just said, being able to trigger off the lighting scenes you like, the music you like, based on a face. I mean, that's really cool. So I guess let's kind of step back a little bit. Where did the idea of Chui come from?
Sure. So Nazar and I, when I said we were out in Casablanca, we were actually working on a different idea that we had put together as our first startup. And while doing that in our free time, we were playing around with the idea of the hardware revolution. Smart home technology was at its infancy, just starting to come out. And, the more we sat there and thought about it, we couldn't understand why the access point to the connected home, which the connected home is supposed to be smart, was still dumb. So why we were still using keys, they're not smart. Why are you using dumb keys to access your smart home? And so the original idea came about with how do we create that smart entrance point? And we started throwing ideas back and forth about, well, knowing someone was there would be unique, being able to see it on your phone, but then going one step further and actually creating that intelligence to where the house can recognize your visitor. And so these things just kept rolling through our heads, and we took the idea over to CES in Las Vegas in January. That was really the first time that we unveiled the technology to the public and got such great feedback that we had to keep pushing forward in terms of the connected home and how we were that first point of contact into your connected life.
Great. Yeah, I know. I knew you guys unveiled your product and at CES, and I was curious to ask you about that. Kind of What was the general reception of people to your product, and how was your general experience at CES?
The general experience, it was incredible. We had actually only known about it for 3 weeks prior, so we had to prepare very quickly for it and put something together, for everyone that was there. And we had just overwhelmingly positive feedback. It is a lot of technologists and a lot of people within the industry, so you've got kind of a segmented group. But at the same time, their excitement that we would see when they would come up and use the device, it was something that we couldn't look past. And so the reception we got there was just truly incredible, and we were thankful to have it. And that's really what pushed us to the next step of crowdfunding, because we knew the one way to validate that market actually existed was to take this technology and this product to the crowd, and to the marketplace, and see how people really reacted as more of a mass market.
Right. And as I was mentioning to you, kind of when we were in the green room here, Seth and I's focus on this show is very much on the installation end and the user experience. But I do think it's interesting to discuss crowdfunding. I mean, it's obviously, if you follow the smart home space right now, you can't get away from it. Right. There's just so much activity going on in the crowdfunding scene, and new products coming to market almost daily at this point.
Right.
How was your crowdfunding experience? How did that go for you guys, and what platform did you use?
It was great. We actually used CrowdHoster. So we decided to host the campaign ourselves, and that was just so we had a bit more control over what we could put in, and what we could show, and then what layout it was in. And we had a phenomenal experience, with a very little budget for marketing and advertising, close to none. We were able to reach quite a few people, and get the feedback we needed to get. And I think we were over 230% funded. So overall, a great experience. And I would recommend it to someone looking to validate their idea. We were using it more as a platform to understand the market and get feedback from potential buyers, and that's exactly what we ended up getting. So it definitely helped out with our business and moving forward.
Okay, very cool. So you obviously had a working device there at CES. I mean, could you describe just a little bit about what it looks like and how it installs? How you put this little device here on your wall outside and it works?
Sure, absolutely. So the device itself is a little bit bigger than 2 iPhone 5 stacked on top of each other. And we went with Swedish design because we really felt that this device should be something that people are proud to put outside of their houses. Real sleek looking, can blend into the house. It doesn't really look like a tech gadget. So that's what we kept in mind when designing the device. And then the installation process, it's a very easy thing. All you have to do is remove 2 wires from your existing doorbell, connect it to the back of our device, and you're pretty much ready to go. And how you set up your account would just be then with the Wi-Fi setup we've got on your computer or on your phone. You create an account with the web app or the phone, as well as then add your device, and you're good to go.
Very cool. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Some of the pictures you have online have a little cable coming down, but I noticed in one of your FAQs down on the bottom it said that there was a wireless version that would be in production.
Right. Originally, we had gone with the cable in the design, but the actual device that we're going to ship to backers will not have that cable sticking out the bottom. So those cables will essentially attach to your existing doorbell power source.
Yeah, that's super smart. I mean, that's on every single house where they remember to put a doorbell. It's on every single house, So,
right.
So yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. When somebody walks up to the door, obviously press the doorbell. The system recognizes who's at the door. Is that something that's done on board, or is that something that's offloaded out to the cloud somewhere?
That's a good question. We do the facial recognition locally, but then we encrypt the data, which is stored securely in the cloud, and it's up to the user's discretion how they use that data. So as people come over, you'll have those pictures of those people, and you can delete them if you'd like to delete them, or save them for 30 days, whatever it may be. But just the facial recognition is running locally.
Interesting. Okay, so one thing that I was wondering about when I was looking at the product, facial recognition is obviously, I would say, a relatively cutting-edge technology at this point. What have you guys been able to do to really make this reliable? Specifically, I'm wondering about in low light conditions, and then the variety of sort of issues that could come up, like if somebody's wearing a hat, or if they did their hair in a ponytail and they usually wear it down, that sort of thing. I think that
right.
when facial recognition comes to mind, people wonder how reliable it's going to be. Can you speak to that?
Sure. Funny enough, I've actually tested it with myself with a ponytail and without. So
Very nice.
I know that it works. But you say it's cutting edge, and I definitely agree with you on that. What we're doing is trying to bring that facial recognition, the idea of that technology, for the first time into the consumer's hands for an affordable price. And we know that, being outside the house, it needs to work in all sorts of environments. So our technology has actually been great with adapting to low light environments. And part of the reason is that our camera selection can perform, at conditions that are, extremely bright sunlight or pretty much only moonlit. So we've definitely tested that, and those work well. In regards to the security and spoofing, which you asked about, we have tested it with different videos and pictures of people's faces, and we're creating pretty much technology around facial recognition that we can use biometric information, and we can use these other innovative technologies to make sure that that person is who they say they are in front of that device.
Right. Yeah. I think it's obviously when it comes to access control, people's locks and things like that,
Right.
Security is a major concern. And, we're always hearing stories about the Internet of Everything. And obviously, as we move forward and we get more and more connected, security is something that we've always got to think about.
Absolutely.
I would imagine that you guys are probably being pretty proactive about addressing people's security concerns, as that's probably one of the biggest challenges, I would say, to sort of mass market adoption. Have you found generally that people are pretty receptive to adopting this sort of technology? What are you guys doing to kind of proactively address people's concerns?
Sure. I think it definitely was a concern of ours early on how we would address it. But having that at the forefront of our minds as we've, gone from a pen and napkin to today has helped us design different systems in place to make sure that we are providing you with that most secure access or most secure device possible for your house. And we do have a biometric data and systems expert on board that does help us advise on that topic. But, we really do focus on making sure that you're comfortable with who's coming to your house, what time they show up, and really that the people inside your house are safe. And so by sending that instant notification of that picture, we can do stuff like that. And then by running the test, the spoof-proof test about, a video or a picture, you'll still receive that image, but it'll let you know that someone's trying to fool your system. So, you're not going to have someone let in that shouldn't be let in, but you'll still be aware that something's amiss in front of the device or in front of your house.
That's very cool. So I noticed on the website you had some retail pricing of about $199 for early adopters. Is that what you're shooting for MSRP, or is that that kind of an introductory rate?
That's just the early bird rate. So we're trying to give our early supporters and our early backers a bit of a discount when it comes to buying this device. So the MSRP will be about $249 in store. So that's why, we do still have that page up at getchui.com where people can pre-order. And, we just want to make sure that we're providing a bit of a benefit to people that are investing in us, early and liking the technology early, because those are the people that will help us explore into different markets and to really get feedback on how to make this device the best possible thing that we can deliver to a consumer.
No, definitely. They should definitely go over and check this out and pre-order one, I think, because it's a pretty cool device. I always ask this on all the shows, and I have to ask you because it's kind of the business that Jason and I are in. Are you looking at towards any kind of API in the future that would allow third-party integration with, we work on some larger control systems, and we're always looking for ways we can integrate with different products. And this would definitely be something I would be interested in integrating with. So do you have plans for an API on the roadmap?
We do, and I appreciate you saying that. I firmly believe that for this entire smart home and connected technology to take that big step forward, we need to be connecting these devices together. And so with that, we do plan on releasing an API for third-party systems. We've actually integrated with a few smart products to date. And as we progress, so on and so forth with development, we'll roll out different integrations as we see fit. And, really, we want to act as that first device to the smart home. So, have the action set based on who's there. And I think that, with providing access to third party sources, that we can get better feedback and better ideas about how to do that. So yes, that is definitely in our plans.
That's great. Yeah, Seth and I are always happy to hear that when people we have come on embrace openness. It's definitely, I think, the right direction to go in. So we're happy to hear that. As far as like third-party integrations, it kind of, I was hearing you say that, and it made me want to kind of back up just a little bit, so to speak, and talk about maybe some of the user stories kind of this product. Like, can you maybe describe some of the cool applications that you could envision if, integration with existing smart home technologies was just something you could snap your fingers and make happen?
Sure.
What would be kind of some cool use cases that you could sort of use this gateway to the smart home to sort of act as a trigger point for what sort of actions?
Sure. I mean, I think that it's really up to your imagination when it comes to something like this. But, something in my mind would be, you walk home from a long day of work and you get to your house with a bag of groceries, right? And our device will detect your motion. It'll detect your face, run facial recognition, recognize that it's you, unlock the door, disarm the alarm, turn your hallway lights on, play your favorite song, and start the stove. So essentially, when you get into your home, we want it to be as comfortable, and that's the place where you can be you. So it should be comfortable, it should be secure, and everything you do should be convenient within the home. And we feel that, with Chui at the front of the door, we could do that. And like you said, with these integrations, anything that's internet connected within the house, we would be able to control before you walked into the house. So it would be prepared for you.
Very nice. And I'm sitting here thinking about the home, but also this could be used a little bit further away from the home, like maybe even at the office, to ring people in. I mean, this would be a great product for that. Sounds like you are. Are you guys thinking of moving in that direction too? I mean, because this definitely has more use cases, maybe outside the home than it does in the home, actually.
I completely agree, and we've seen quite a bit of interest from outside of the home applications. So we did do a pilot test in January this year at a place called Common Desk. It's a co-working space in Dallas, and we were testing membership check-in as well as employee clock-in there. So that was just to validate the technology worked and that people were comfortable with it. But really, this technology can apply to any aspect of your life, wherever you want security or you need convenience. Things like school attendance or school security, like you mentioned, employee clock-in, membership-based businesses. Think about the last time you went to a gym. What you'd have to do to really just get into your locker. And that is, you'd walk through, pull out your wallet, stumble in your bag to find a little fob. Well, with Chui, you could just walk through. The gym would recognize that you were there, mark it, and you continue to go. So, and now also you're providing the owner with, the times and frequency of your visits, maybe a trainer as well. That way you can cater a training regimen. So these are all things that, with facial recognition and commercializing facial recognition, we can put into the market, and the user adoption is as simple as just being you. You don't have to carry any certain smartphone on you. So this is really where the vision of the company is going, is to make your face the key to unlocking everything within your smart world. And that does range from, work to pleasure. So.
Yeah, definitely. So that opens up a whole world of possibilities there for you guys. And it definitely sounds like a very exciting market to be targeting. I mean, there's just seems like it's just rife with opportunity. But for now, obviously, you guys are still early in the process, and you're, I'm sure, very much focused on just getting that first product out to market. I know that as we're sitting down to record this, the trade show CEDIA is fast approaching, and I know you guys have plans to attend CEDIA this year. Can you touch on what maybe some of your specifics are for your plan at CEDIA?
Sure. We should be announcing some new hardware and unveiling a little bit of new technology there, that being our new devices, our new cases, as well as a mobile app to go with it. So just more of a functional version of how Chui will look outside your house. And that's really what we wanted to showcase at CEDIA, that this technology is taken from its infancy stages just a couple years ago to what it can become today, and then what the future holds with those different integrations. And I think that's our main focus at CEDIA, is how do we push this into the vision of the future. Right.
Yeah. And so I've seen that on some of your videos and literature. So the current kind of iteration and pictures of what Chui looks like floating around right now, you guys are still kind of iterating and working on that design. Are we going to see a more finalized design at CEDIA, or do you expect that it'll still kind of be a work in progress at that time as well?
I still think it'll be a work in progress, but if we do have it, then it'll be a nice treat for everyone, including myself. So we do work towards that, but at the same time, our focus is mainly on our early backers and how we can deliver that to them on time. So that's where our heads will be at. Hopefully, we will have the next iteration on the design, but we'll see.
Sure. And Seth and I are both planning to be in attendance at the show, so we will make it a point to stop by and say hi.
Please do. We would love that.
Definitely. We'll see you.
Yeah, so we're kind of running up against our time here. Maybe we can just close out by just talking briefly about what's the next step for you guys. I mean, we kind of just touched on it, but what are you guys really focused on right now, and where do you see yourselves maybe 6 months from now?
Sure, that's actually the 6 months from now is a tough question to answer, but I'll do my best. So we've got CEDIA coming up. We were also recently selected as one of 19 semifinalists to the Cisco's IoT Challenge. So we've been focusing a lot of our effort on that. And then even further into November, we were accepted to the Alpha program at the Summit Dublin, which is one of Europe's largest technology conferences. It's a fairly new conference, but we're very excited for that as well, where we should be announcing a partnership. So, these are kind of events that are in our near future, but the main focus for us right now is getting this product into the consumer's hands so that we can get early feedback and iterate on it and make sure that we really are providing that experience that we want to the consumers.
Wow, congratulations on that too. That sounds exciting. So if somebody, I know you touched on this briefly, but I want to make sure that people get this, and it'll be in our show notes too. But if somebody wants to grab one of those Chuis as an early bird, where would they go? Where would they go to get Chui?
To getchui.com, GETCHUI.com.
It's that easy.
And, yep, it's that easy, and you can pre-order one there.
That makes sense.
Well, Shaun, thanks very much for joining Jason and I on Home Tech. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun, and I appreciate being on the show.
All right, Shaun, thanks. We'll see you at CEDIA in a few weeks.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right, take care.
Take care.